All right. Get my perfectly spot. Oh my god, this is off to a great start. My perfectly positioned spot so that I'm in focus because I don't have an autofocusing camera lens. I hate poorly designed book covers, and not just in a way that people dislike, movies because they saw it and it didn't appeal to them. I think book covers that are bad are really bad, and I don't really understand why they're that bad. So that's why I did this video. And I'm talking about the ones that have an image as the cover, like a sword or an apple or a chess piece. There's a sword on the cover of Game of Thrones. Whoa, it's about swords. That's what I think when I look at it. Maybe I'm a little baby-brained when thinking of that, but I don't know. When I want my entertainment, I want to know what it's about. I want to be able to look at it, be like, oh, that looks cool. Turn it around, read the back. If I see a picture of a piece of chess piece, I don't instantly think, this is about vampires. I think it's about a chess person who does chess. Why would it be about vampires? Hopefully I'm not peeking the mic at all. That would be really bad. First of all, we're going to go through what I think are good book covers, what catches the viewer's eye in the bookstore and makes you want to read the back. There should always be a character on the book cover, in my opinion, because books are stories, and stories are about characters. No matter in any media ever, the story is always about a character. I literally picked up a book the other day and the main character was a fucking rat. But it's still a character, so it still counts. It is about a character. You can't have a story without a character. One thing I like to see is scenes from books because it gives you a little snippet about what the world is like and what the characters do and what their role in that world is and all that. And then, ooh, look at that. That's so cool. And then you read the back and then you're like, oh, that's what it's about. This might happen then. But it can't be a spoiler. You can have it at the beginning of the book, like the inciting incident. The Martian is a really good example. The cover is him being blown away in the dust storm that happens 30 pages into the book. And it's a very striking image. Orange is not a lot of people's first color that they'll go for. So a bright orange book like that, very smart. But most of all, book covers need to entice you to read the back. The front is oh, look at me, I'm amazing. And then the back is actually, this is what this content's about, and this is why you should read it. So it's like an advertisement for an advertisement, sort of. And with that, characters, locations, scenes, all help me grasp what the book is going to be about and would entice me to read the back. If I expect to read a really cool book about mind games and chess, I don't expect to pick up the book, look at the back, and then, oh, it's about romance and vampires. So really quick, here's a list of book covers that I think are really good. Number 1, the Throne of Glass, the new ones. Not the old ones. The old ones are really bad. The really new ones, though, that are brightly colored, I have a picture on screen right now. Those are really good. I think those are really well designed without being too spoilery, as well as without being too on the nose. To be fair, I haven't read it, but I assume that's the case at least. Number 2, like I said already, The Martian. Really striking cover. It is a scene of the inciting incident of him being blown away by the storm. I did read that one. Okay, don't question me on that. Another one is Hyperion. That is on the to-do list. I have not read that yet, but it's literally what the hell is this dude? I'll have a picture of it right now. What the hell is this dude? He's a mechanical thing, but then he's looking over a field, and it's a really nice art. And then there's a boat, going through the cornfield or whatever the fuck that is. Also, all the Harry Potter covers are really good. Half-Blood Prince, this one's probably my favorite right here. The very vibrant green and Dumbledore and Harry looking down into the bowl or whatever. That one's really good. Also, I don't care that it's a children's book. I think all covers should have good covers. Even though it's a children's book, it's obviously meant to look like a children's book. But I think more adult books or young adult books should have covers similar to that. You can have an art style without it looking childish. Okay, now let's get into the bad book covers. What do I mean by bad book covers? The thing that ticks me off the most is random images. Just items in the middle of the book cover that have so little to do with the plot, or they're so broad that it could be any book ever. My first example is going to be the Game of Thrones books. Look at this one. Look at that. That's horrible. Okay, there's a sword. Okay, cool. There's going to be action. They're going to fight with swords. What does that mean? Like, I guess it's a fantasy book because most fantasy books have swords, but some of them don't. Some of them have guns. And whose sword is this? There's so many characters in Game of Thrones, I don't know whose sword this is. Unless it's very specifically described, you don't know whose this is. Alright, now I'm going to pick on Red Rising, which is one of my favorite books probably ever. I've read the first 3, I haven't read the second 3, so those are coming later, don't worry. But come on. What is this cover? A wing? I guess it's like supposed to be like the wings of freedom because he's like no longer a slave, but also like that has so little to do with the book in my opinion. That is the first like maybe third. The other 2/3 are about him in like Lord of the Flies situation where he's killing other kids. The wings have nothing to do with that. Like what? And then there is one character with wings, but she's in there for maybe 2 chapters and then she disappears until the 3rd book or whatever. And then in the 3rd book, or 2nd book, whenever she appears again, she doesn't have the wings. She has them surgically removed. So it's like, what? What even, like, what? I feel like you should have a picture of, like, I don't know, anything else? Okay, we're going to pull it back to Sarah J. Maas here for a second. A Court of Thornes and Roses. This cover freaking sucks. I'm sorry. This just sucks. I'm sorry. Like, what? It's supposed to be like a smut romance thing. This tells me nothing. It tells me, oh, look, there's a wolf. Like, what does that mean? Is this the bad guy? Is this, like, a tattoo? Because it kind of looks like a tattoo. Like, what? What does this say? Oh, my God. My voice is cracking up already. And I'm assuming it's a completely different, like, marketing team that did Sarah J. Maas's Court of Thornes and Roses and the other one that I mentioned. So that's why the book covers look so different. But I wish they just all did it in the Throne of Glass cover style because that looks so significantly better and it makes me want to pick up the book so much more. Okay, now that we've gone through all the bad stuff and all the good stuff, I want to talk about where this came from. My theory is that Twilight started it. Yes, the Twilight, with the book cover of just a hands holding the apple, is boring. Yes, it's iconic, but it is boring. It influenced an entire generation of book covers, and then by 20 years later, or whatever it is now, it has been boiled down to absolute slop, and now basically only fantasy romances have it, but everybody had it back in the day. I also can't remember what fantasy romance books looked like before Twilight. So tell me if I'm wrong, if that's like not the first one, but I feel like it is. It influenced so many books, but also maybe because I was 4 when that came out, and I probably couldn't remember much before I was 4. The cover is undoubtedly iconic, but it is way too simple for my liking. One of my friends tried to argue that food is a symbolistic choice for like vampires and things like that, and they have been for years. I can agree with that, but it's just like so bland. I don't know. Maybe I'm autistic. Well, I am autistic, but maybe that's the reason why. It's undoubtedly iconic, but in my opinion, iconic does not equal good. But despite everything I've said, all these books are insanely popular. They're probably more popular than I will ever be in my entire existence. So maybe they did something correct. Maybe I'm just wrong. All of these books have a cover, even the boring ones, quote unquote, have a cover that somebody picked up and somebody read and somebody bought that. Somebody enjoyed it too. If a cover is just an advertisement for a book and someone bought it, that cover technically worked. So is that a bad cover at that point? Or is it a really good cover? This is something I've been thinking about for a while. Maybe I'm just completely wrong, but that's okay. Anyways, my rant is over, I think. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'm really interested to know if you agree with me, if you completely disagree with me. If you do disagree with me, let me know down in the comments why. I'm very curious as to see what other people think. One of the ones I didn't mention was Hunger Games. That one also bothers me a little bit, but that book is amazing, so I don't know. It's crazy. And these are all just my opinions, so take everything what I say with a grain of salt, because like I said, all of these books are insanely popular, so I guess I'm just wrong. Anyways, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you liked the video, and I'll see you later. Bye.